Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it. Number one flaws, you don't know ball. We taking advantage of that. Got you Karens asking where the manager at. With no cap, no time for the amateur rap. Look, man, we got dogs all over the depth chart. Monsters on the roster. Straighten up that posture. Rooting out you imposters. Silver bullets in the chamber. And a D-line full of danger. Step back with that linebacker trigger. When he pull it, it'll bang ya. Running backs running downhill. Touchdown on your IG reel. Better check the stats. Buddy, it's straight facts over how you feel. Whenever I speak, I'm giving you more balls than German Village or North and High Street. And you know, the average Joe can do nothing with my flow. It's a waste. Somebody please give his brother an I.O. Come on.
I told y'all before, I need to feel y'all's energy. Stop sitting on y'all hands and get this place lit. Like I said, bring the energy.
Yeah, you know what time it is. I'm brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lame. You know what time it is. I'm brawl with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lame. Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the... We represent to the uttermost, to the public housing, and yes, the east side of Columbus raised me. Another pick six. The BIA boys about to go crazy. What's good, everybody? What's good? So happy to see y'all. Great day. Happy Mother's Day. First and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers watching this show, all the wonderful mothers not watching this show. It don't matter. We appreciate you. We love you. Shout out to my beautiful, phenomenal wife, Whitney Moses. She is a fantastic mother. I can say that with my chest, with full confidence, not reading off a cue card just because I'm supposed to say it on Mother's Day. She is dope. Dopest mom ever. Love you so much and appreciate you. And listen, we're going to get into it. Y'all saw the show title. We haven't had a chance to talk about, Sharon Moore getting the 2-game suspension, self-imposed. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some other angles. But Funky, tell the people how you feeling, and I just can't wait for you to say what you're going to say. Go ahead, brother.
I woke up feeling again like a national champion today, B. Moses.
That's right.
So it's never a bad day when you're a national champion. It's been a crazy week with so many stuff, so much backtracking, so much to keep control of, so much message board watching. It's been and of course I get the worst sick I've been in like years, BMOs, or not even probably ever, to be honest with you. But hey, it's okay. I'm on the up track now, and I'm glad to be feeling good, and I'm glad to be here. And again, feeling like a national champion and excited to do this show today.
Yeah, man, that's a beautiful thing, man. I'm glad you're feeling better, bro. I know during the week I saw you said you was a little under the weather.
Yeah.
So glad you sound good. You don't sound like, an old 70-year-old chain smoker like you did at one time you was sick, remember? You sound much better than that. So so that's cool. We got that going for us, which is great. So, but anyway, man, yeah. So we're gonna dive into it again. This past Monday, Sharon Moore self-imposed Michigan self-imposed a 2-game suspension for Sharon Moore for the games 3 and 4. I know this has been in a cycle for almost a week. We have not been live. So this is our first time that we've been able to talk on it here. And so I'm sure you've all heard takes. I guess the flip side, Funky, of not, because on one end you want to jump on it and be able to talk about it. But on the flip side, we've been able to sit back and hear all the takes, all the bad takes. Most of them are bad takes and very disappointing and uninformed. And that's just par for the course with this scandal. Like the people, I would say, honestly, 98% of the media just won't apply themselves with doing their homework. It's not even just about sources. And yes, Buckeye Scoop has great sources. It's not even just about that, y'all. Yes, we outsource them, but we also outthink them. We outread them. We out-research them. We out-apply them. Apply ourselves, meaning some of the stuff that people are missing a boat on is just simple. Oh, all you have to read is this. Go read that. Go research that, and you will see this take is trash. But people aren't doing that. They're running to their message boards and they're listening to what they have to say, or they're running to their favorite podcaster who they trust, but clearly doesn't know what they're talking about, or they at least haven't considered X, Y, and Z because maybe they have an agenda, they have a certain angle, they don't want to alienate Michigan fans for clicks, whatever the agenda is. I've been sitting back watching it, just disappointed, Funk, because to me, it's like if you would just take 2 more minutes to go a little further instead of just repeating what you heard, then you would either be forced to straight up lie about it if you have a different agenda, or you'll be forced to shut up or speak the truth. And so it is what it is. But the good news is the final hearing is coming up June 6th and 7th. And the punishment will be handed down 30 to 45 days after that or so. So we actually have light at the end of the tunnel, y'all. And so we're going to get into it, Funky. I just kind of wanted to lay the foundation, the ground of what's been going on this past week. And we got some different angles and different things to show you. Y'all saw the subtitle on the video was what Michigan fans are missing. And we're going to talk about that because their argumentation is all similar. They like I said before, they go back to their little beehive, their little huddle. They huddle up and then they agree on narratives to come back and troll with or to respond with. And we're going to address some of that. But go ahead, Funk. You want to jump in on all I know is a lot.
Yeah. The one important thing about what you said is going this late or going whatever. When did they release this? I forget
Monday.
now. Was it really? Was it last Monday? Wow, it's only almost been a week. But we got to see the total full reactions, the flip flopping, the full 10 yards of the whole entire thing. We got to the point where Yoder today said that he thinks there's a 50-50 chance that there's a 1-year postseason ban. I thought, like, coming from Yoder, that means there's a 100% chance. And then also, you hear it's just you saw Wetzel go out there and say, because he was one of the people that were reporting they're not even discussing a postseason ban. They're not even discussing it. And he went out on his show and was like, I don't know what's going to happen. He said straight up, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen.
Backtracked.
And he's a big Connor Stallions fan. So obviously,
yes, he is.
And works for a network. So clearly he has an agenda to push, and he's a Michigan man, or whatever. Maybe I'm not sure if he went to Michigan, but he has those ties to Michigan and whatever. Connor Stallions, and he thinks Connor Stallions is like, and the thing about like people who talked to Connor before, like the former Michigan quarterback, I forgot, he has a podcast now that's decently popular. He claimed, he talked to Connor, he did talk to Connor. He had a podcast to Connor, and he was like, Michigan didn't even talk to him. If you actually talked to him, you could hear all the great stuff, and you just realize how hard he worked. But you realize he's a diabolical liar.
Yes.
Like, he's literally a diabolical liar. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. It's been proven time and time again. He can't stop lying and won't stop lying. So obviously, I'm sure what he told you would make him sound like a good guy and innocent. But if you really take a step back and realize you're talking to a psychopath, then you realize, wait, you shouldn't even take this guy seriously. And then that's genuinely the type of person that we're talking to when we talk about Connor Stallions.
I mean, he wrote a manifesto, Funk, a freaking manifesto.
Yeah, a lot. Yes, and then he still thinks he's going to be the Michigan's head coach. He still thinks that. He genuinely believes he's going to be Michigan's head football coach one time. Like, that is genuinely insane, and like, you have to literally mentally ill to think that. And he clearly has something wrong with him. And also, remember that whole fit with the high school?
Yes.
Like, he refused to stop coaching them. Like, there's clearly something wrong with this guy. So if you believe what he says, then you're an idiot. You're an idiot. That's all I got to say. It's ridiculous. And you even see, you see Josh Pate going out there, and we've been critical on Josh Pate, and he went from saying nothing's going to happen to I don't know what's going to happen. These things could happen. To now publicly stating he thinks wins are going to be vacated.
Yep,
And
another backtrack.
Yep, that's backtracking. But that's fine. I'll take backtracking. This is all positive for us. Backtracking. But we called this though. We've been calling this since day one. We even gave you all the timeline. It went from absolutely nothing's gonna happen to like maybe something to yeah, Sharon Moore might get suspended for a bit, and then now it's Sharon Moore might get canned, and then it's gonna be like Sharon Moore might get canned, and we might get one postseason ban, a 1 year postseason ban, and then it's gonna be Sharon's gonna get canned, we're probably get a 1 year postseason ban, and they're probably gonna vacate wins, but not the natty, and then it's gonna be everything at once, and it's gonna be absolutely glorious, and I have little to no doubt that it's going to come to full tuition, or I'm not sure that's the right word for that, by the end of this. And it's going to happen soon, because I bet you more stuff is going to come out in the next, or in a month, I'm sure. I'm sure we'll hear something a few days after the hearing. And if we don't hear something a few days after the hearing, then it's really, 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 really bad. That's what I have to say. The longer the silence is after the hearing, the more glorious it's going to be when they release the punishment, which is going to be mid-July, who knows, but something like that.
Days, probably.
Yeah.
So real quick on Pate, I'm glad you brought that up. And then Amber Nicole, your comment, it reminded me of something that I posted. But real quick, I'm going to read you what it's real quick, real simple what Pate said on Twitter. He was responding to somebody asking him, like, bet me that they vacate wins. He said, I think they'll vacate wins. Why would I bet they won't? That was his comment. That's like, listen, that is significant as far as this whole back and forth goes, because Scum fans loved to point to Josh Pate as one of their saviors. See, Josh Pate doesn't think anything's going to happen. Now he's backtracking. Wetzel even more so. Wetzel was on the freaking Sign Stealer Netflix documentary, being extra pro Scum and extra pro, Connor Stallion slappy. Like, but they're pointing to him for more salvation of Wetzel said they don't expect to vacate wins or go after, postseason ban. Like, Wetzel doesn't know anything. Wetzel is providing his opinion, his biased opinion, by the way. So regarding Pate, what I was going to say, I posted a clip on Twitter where I was noticing his argument, like he was clearly conflating two things. And Funk, I want you to weigh in on this. I don't know if you saw it. Yeah, I think you retweeted it. So it was a clip where he was saying, like Amber is mentioning about the whole revenue, like he said, over my dead body, we're going to allow the NCAA to put a postseason ban on a school to diminish their value with all this TV money. That's, basically that all these, the networks paid a lot of money to play Michigan games. The conflation, and to me, I was thinking to myself, like, did he just completely miss that so bad? Does he understand what he's trying to, like, this is what I'm saying. The money that the networks are paying the Big Ten Conference and, to get the Michigan games and the Ohio State games, those are all regular season games, y'all. This is a postseason ban, okay? Teams are not guaranteed to make the postseason. You have to qualify and make the postseason, and then the networks, last year was ESPN, who had, the playoffs, the national championship. They have the rights, and they are going to set their cameras up and broadcast whatever teams are in those slots. Okay? Michigan didn't make the playoffs last year. They did just fine without Michigan's brand in the playoffs. Okay? So I think Josh Pate, either he misunderstood what he just did a poor job of trying to make his argument, because I could see his argument only fits if a TV ban was in place. Let's say the NCAA said, all right, we're taking Michigan off TV for the whole season. Okay, then yes, that would make sense for what you're saying, but that's not what they're doing. It's a postseason ban. So their fans, their haters, whoever is still going to watch the games during the regular season, and the TV people will get their money. And then in the postseason, no go. Just like last year, ReliaQuest Bowl. Okay, so what? So you see what I'm saying, Funky? Like to me, it was just weird hearing a guy so sharp as Josh Pate conflate that, and it's just like weird. Like, do you understand what you're saying, bro?
I get what you're saying, but I can also get a little bit what he's saying. because he's like, a lot of people probably aren't going to watch Michigan games if they have no chance of making the playoffs. Then I'll counter that with Michigan got eliminated from the playoffs last year on October 19th. And the networks were fine. And
exactly.
And they're not going to make the playoffs this year anyways. They're probably going to lose 4 or 5 games this year again. They'll start the season 2-2 this year. And with their easy schedule, they're not a guaranteed to get in at 10-2. So, and I mean, I'm very confident that they're going to be 2-2. They'll probably lose at Nebraska and at Oklahoma. These are 2 pretty tough road games with a first-year freshman quarterback with a bad O-line, bad O-line, not explosive offense, with losing 2 top 13 picks on the defensive line, 3 total picks on the defensive line, and Will Johnson. That's, to me, it just seems ridiculous. And that's why a part of me is not even stressing out too much about a postseason ban, because, I mean, obviously I hope it happens, but in the grand scheme of things, Michigan's not making the postseason anyways, BMO, or not making the playoffs anyways. Yeah. So in the next 2 years, or definitely this year, and probably next year, they're not even making it anyways. So I want to see it happen for the president, the president of it. But it's, to me, I want to see Wins vacate it first. And Sherrone Moore to be canned, just because that's going to create total havoc and get everyone in the portal opening, and just people aren't going to want to play for Michigan like that. And don't get me wrong, I still think they're going to post. I 100% think they're going to postseason ban. I think it'll be a 2-year postseason ban. But that's just like my personal take on the situation. And yeah, I just think it's ridiculous that they think any brand is bigger than college football. Like, there literally isn't a brand that's even close to Ohio State. And Ohio State's the biggest brand by far. And I'll tell you right now, if Ohio State screwed up as bad as Michigan did, they'll have no issues giving us a postseason ban. We'd probably self-impose one. By the way, we already would have self-imposed one. We would not have let this scandal drown out this long.
That's another angle. Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's funny. They're trying to cope and saying, the original thing was they're claiming, oh, this is what was they originally, okay, sorry, I gotta gather my thoughts real quick. It was originally Chris Bayless said this was a settlement, this was an agreement. Let me actually read it out, because I have a screenshot of it. Chris Bayless pretty much claimed it was an agreement between right here. Sorry. Been working on the story all morning. As we predicted and told you, Michigan is suspending for 2 games, and there will be some recruiting penalties too. They have been negotiating this for a while. NCAA originally wanted 6. So it's clearly misleading, and just blatantly wrong, because when he says that, he's trying to make it seem like it's a negotiated settlement. Right. Or, oh, the NCAA wanted 6, but Michigan stood their ground and is only going to get 2. No, that's absolutely wrong, and that's ridiculous, and that's not at all what happened. And funny enough, Scam Web proved him wrong. Yep. Or it was like 30 minutes later, and was like, this is not finalized, because obviously they don't want to say that. They want to say, because they're like, oh, well, the NCAA oversteps with other stuff, then we're going to take this back. But it's ridiculous. And if you think Sherrone Moore is only going to face if you think Sherrone Moore is only going to get a 2-game suspension, it's going to be games 3 and 4, then they're just wrong. It's going to be
as a repeat offender, by the way.
As a repeat offender, I mean, just look at what Minter got. He got like a year show cause for like recruiting violations, like very minor recruiting violations, level 2 violations as a non-repeat offender. Sherrone Moore is getting hindering an investigation on top of being a repeat offender. So you got at least, he thinks it gets a year show cause, at least minimum. I'm hearing 3 to 4 year show cause. I mean, you just compare it to what Harbaugh got. Harbaugh got the level 1 violation as not a repeat offender, and he got a 1-year suspension and a 4-year show cause. I don't even know what a show cause really means, to be honest with you, Moses, but according to Urban Meyer, he thinks it means you can't coach. So that's what I'm going to take it as well.
Yeah, so I mean, I do know a little something about it. So show cause is really what it's saying. It's like, okay, University A or University B, you want to hire this coach, you have to show cause why you can hire this coach, and then basically they're either going to have to take on sanctions, they're going to have to respond to the NCAA and argue, hey, we want to hire this coach, and this is why we should be able to hire this coach. So basically, it's a scarlet letter on that coach, and it's going to be very hard for them to coach anywhere, if at all, because most schools don't want to do that. Most schools don't want to have to fight with the NCAA to get a coach when they can just go get another coach. So yes, by default, Urban is correct, but there is a process. Not hypothetically, but there is a process, theoretically, I guess. So real quick, I wanted to read this comment. This is from my Buckeye Sports Talk with B Moses page. There's a lot of clowns on my page right now. A lot of Michigan clowns. Oh my God. Y'all pray for me. Pray for my strength in the Lord, because I'm exhausted with the stupidity. It's just, bro, I can't, Funky. I can't. Like sometimes I just be like, you cannot be this stupid. Here's one comment. This is responding to just a Hammer post I made. Guess who has zero evidence of any wrongdoing whatsoever? Guess whose case is all hearsay and conjecture? Go read the 137-page report that Michigan sent to the NCAA, which is all Michigan's argument and their side. Go watch the Condor Stallions Netflix documentary right there. I stopped right there. Are you serious? They are literally laughing at the NCAA. They have nothing on Michigan, and they don't want to go to big boy court. So they're going to tuck their tail between their legs and run in the opposite direction. The same old goofy arguments for Michigan fans. If you are pointing to the Netflix documentary as evidence or proof of anything, that tells me all I need to know about your IQ, about your mindset, about how brainwashed you are. I don't know who's seen the. Listen, I talked to Funky. I don't know if you remember this, Funk. I was telling you that I was preparing myself to stomach. The only reason why I watched it is because this is what we do. We pod. I needed to educate myself, so I watched it. It was brutal to watch. It is one of the worst puff piece propaganda pieces, loads of BS I've ever watched. Period. And yes, somebody in the chat said something about Wetzel. Wetzel is in it, like I mentioned. I don't know if he was credited for producing, but he's on it heavy. And so basically there to co-sign without officially co-signing. He tries to act like he's objective, but he's clearly not, if you watch it. So there's that, and this whole notion that they're going to take him to court. It's just ridiculous, man. These arguments. And yes, somebody in the chat also said Scum fans are just ignorant and arrogant. Listen, man, this whole thing, the only real silver lining outside of them getting popped, of course, is for years, ever since we've been alive, y'all, dealing with Scum fans, we've known this. We've known the arrogance, the delusion. I mean, we know they're terrible. Yes, Ohio State has some bad fans. We have some lunatic fringe fans, but we have some really, really smart, critical thinking fans, at the crop of our fan base. They are just the worst on the planet. And the one silver lining of this is that this whole scandal has exposed them and will ultimately expose them when they see that when they say nothing's going to happen, they're going to be super wrong about that. Their insiders are going to be even more exposed because they've been lying for years and nothing more. They haven't lied more than they have with this scandal. And so when everything comes out, the full report is posted, the sanctions come, and they see that they were dead wrong, it's just going to expose them for what we've been saying all these years, Funky, which is they are the worst fan base on the planet. They're the stupidest fan base on the planet, and I cannot wait for that reveal.
And we're one of the only few people on this app, in the space of college football, who's standing our ground this whole entire time. Like, I mean, that's the one thing. We've literally had our punishments predicted for what now, almost 2 years, and we've never flip-flopped, not once. We've always said the exact thing that's going to happen, and so far it's gone exactly how we predicted. So, and you ask yourself, why aren't they settling? Why aren't they settling?
Right.
If it was just
exactly
like they would, if it was just because Sharon Moore would have to face a 6-game suspension instead of a 2-game, or an 8-game suspension instead of a 2-game. I bet you they would have accepted it by now, or they would have they weren't. It's just ridiculous to me. They're not going to take this whole way. This dark cloud that's sitting over them. It's affected them already. It's affecting recruiting. It's affecting a lot of stuff. It's affecting people's outlook on Michigan. So why wouldn't they settle already? And the only logical reason is because it's really, 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 really bad. And yeah, and I'm calling it right now. We're going to hear a report a day or two after the thing, and Michigan reporters are going to start to slowly backtrack. And there's going to be some sort of puff piece get released about how Michigan is preparing to fight, and they believe the NCAA is overstepping, and they're going to say something like that. And they're I'm confidently saying that it's going to be over they'll be like, the NCAA is overstepping, and but this is where we stand our ground and fight against the NCAA. But then 40 days later, they're gonna take the punishment, and they might appeal it or they might not appeal it. I really don't know. I honestly wouldn't be shocked if they don't appeal it, to be honest with you, B. Moses, because why would they want to keep it around for another 8 months? Like, are you kidding? Like that would be even worse for them. If you want to take a 2-year show cause, you might as well, or 2-year postseason ban, or let's say if it's 1 year. I mean, that's not an impossible thing. Like, that's not an impossible. Like, it could be one. That's not totally outlandish in my opinion. Take it this year, Bryce Underwood's freshman year. That's when you're gonna want to take it. B. Moses. You're not gonna want to take it his sophomore or junior year, and even if it's 2 years, you're gonna want to take it his freshman and sophomore year, not his junior senior year. And if he wants to get out of the contract, let's say it is 2 years, then you want to get out of his contract now rather than waiting. Then you're paying him $8 million for 2 years that you can't even possibly make the postseason. And to be honest with you, if Michigan's uneligible for the postseason and all this stuff comes out about how badly they cheated, and because they're going to go game by game, it's going to be very long and very descriptive, and it's going to be case by case, and it's explaining exactly what games he went to and exactly what games he the whole thing. And it's good. They're going to talk about how they went to 8 Ohio State games in 2022, and it's going to be very crucial. And I wouldn't be if I was Ohio State, and this might be a hot take, but I would consider even the rivalry with Michigan if once all this stuff comes out, and after this practice footage stuff comes out, it's bad. And there's been a smaller report on the down low, but it's giving a lot of truth to the Matt Weiss having access to practice film, or allegedly having access to an intern's practice film passcode, which was found during his scandal. So they really ruined the rivalry, and it's gonna all come out, and when we read it, it's gonna be even worse than what we think Bebo's is. Because what we think how bad it is, we don't even know everything. We don't know what they found. We don't really, or we know what they probably found, but they found way more than what we probably know, because they have access to this stadium film, they have access to the clouds, they have access to all these interviews they did. Like, we didn't know that they begged Connor Stallions begged a freaking 18-year-old freshman not grad student, whatever, the football manager to drive down the Georgia for the record the games, and he had to go to Chris Parchinage and be like, Connor is whatever bullying me, or that's pretty much what it was. And then Chris had to go to Connor and tell him, stop putting these guys in charge of your stuff. So one, that proves more than proves that he obviously had some knowledge, but also that also proves that this went farther than what we think, and it's pretty dang obvious. So
yeah, definitely obvious. And again, the NCAA came out when this all popped off and told us they had evidence. I done said this so many times, I can't even, it's just, I'm blue in the face. Like, the NCAA has evidence. They told us that. They said, and can prove. They said uncontroverted. We keep saying this. I'm saying this to the Michigan fans out there watching. You keep saying there's no evidence, but the NCAA out the gate told the Big Ten in their letter that was public that they have evidence. Ever since then, they've just piled on more evidence. That was before Stallions on the Central Michigan sideline. That was before they started interviewing the rat or the informant from the inside and others who have settled. Like, what are we talking about here? So to Funky's point, yes, they came out the gate with evidence. Then they just piled on top with even more evidence. Now, they don't have to release everything to Michigan. So in this hearing coming up, there might be more information that they release or reveal that they got on them. So when the NCAA, who is made up of mostly former attorneys, okay, when they say we have evidence, that's what they mean. They went on record saying that. So it's just weird. It's weird. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, because I saw somebody in the chat saying they may not take the natty because they don't have a sack. I think that was Stilly Matt. So let me address that, Stilly. So again, let's just go over this. First of all, and I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to share my screen. Tennessee, I'm going to kind of collaborate that response to Stilly with this comment. Michigan fans love to point towards the Tennessee case as some salvation story. See what Tennessee got away with. If y'all see Tennessee, they actually got cracked. They got popped. They did not get off easy. And the only reason why, I'm about to pull it up right now. All right, boom. Can y'all see that? There it is. So, listen, the only reason why Tennessee did not get a postseason ban is because they had exemplary cooperation, okay? They were praised for their cooperation because unlike Michigan, when they found out what was going on, they reported it. They provided everything they needed to the NCAA. They actually had their own firm and stuff doing most of the job for them and just handed it over to them. You feel me? So
wasn't it self-reported too, B. Moses?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you look at the description, it says I forget if it was a staffer, but they saw it and they reported it. They self-reported it. And so not only that, let's go down. They was cheating, you know, with the money bags. All right. But again, they got cracked. This is not light. A reduction in football scholarships by a total of 28, 5 years probation, a reduction in football visits. And I mean, they get look at all these bullet points.
That's when that stuff actually mattered too, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. A 10-year show cause. I mean, like they got cracked. Okay. So again, the reason why the big thing that was missing from their case, which people think, and they vacated wins too. They vacated wins. Don't forget that. But one reason why people think that they got off easy is because they didn't get a postseason ban. I'm looking for the paragraph that has the exemplary. There it is. So here's a paragraph right here. So the violation in this case came to light when an athletics department staff member informed the office of the chancellor. So there you go, Funky. They self-reported it. Okay. So within 3 weeks, the school confiscated cell phones, several staff members. They took action and said, here, NCAA, we're guilty. Here's everything you need. Please go easy on us. And the NCAA gave them exemplary cooperation. So basically, they say in here that the reason why they didn't get a bowl ban, which they should have got a bowl ban, is because of this exemplary cooperation. Michigan has been the complete opposite from day one. From your president, who they swear up and down has nothing to do with him leaving with what's coming down the pike. Fine. There's so much more to argue. I don't care. But to me, I think it's naive to think there's no chance of it. You got your president. Imagine Ted Carter tweeting bet for something like this. Your president's tweeting bet. Your whole administration is thumbing their nose, saying we're going to sue. Your head coach is throwing the double bird to the NCAA all these months. No cooperation. They still got popped, minus a bowl ban. That was their gift. And you mean to tell me they said they got evidence, uncontroverted, out the gate, and they've only piled on more evidence and more testimony from insiders and rats in your program. And you're going to tell me that you're going to get away with a 2-game suspension for Sherrone Moore, fines, and a couple of show causes for coaches that are gone, and that's it? That's it? And Tennessee got cracked, and they were exemplary cooperative. Like, come on, dog. This is this type of stuff that just trips me out. Now, to that point, Stilly, and I'll end here and flip it back to you, Funk, and then I want to go into the article I want to show about what Michigan fans are missing, is that, remember, y'all, I understand, we are fully aware here at Buckeye Scoop that the college football playoff is who's over the Natty, and the Big Ten Conference is who's over the Big Ten, championship. We understand that. The NCAA, okay, what we're predicting they're going to do, because of the in-game cheating that they said they have evidence of, they're not going to be able to keep those wins. There's nothing logical to convince me otherwise. That why would you let a cheater cheat? Matter of fact, check this out. I'm about to show y'all this quote from my dude. He basically said, my dude Los Ridley, he said that's like a jewel thief getting caught stealing jewelry and then goes to jail. And then they say, oh, you get to rock the jewelry in jail. You can keep that jewelry, bro. You caught, you guilty, but that's your jewelry. What? Are you kidding me? No, it doesn't work like that. So what we're predicting is going to happen is the NCAA will put, and Nevada has said this many times, we do not recognize these Big Ten championships or this national championship because they were cheating. Then that's when the CFP can say, you know what? The NCAA has done a thorough investigation for 3 years, and they deemed that they were cheating and don't deserve to be winners of these games. Why would we let them keep this trophy? Let me remind you, the CFP committee is made up of ex-coaches, ADs, people who appreciate and value the integrity of the game. The Big Ten, I'm not even concerned about the Big Ten. Tony Petitti's been waiting for this day for 3 years for how they treated him publicly and try to buck up against them when they were caught cheating. Big Ten Conference, they're going to pour down those banners for the Big Ten titles. You kidding me? You think they're going to let them keep those banners when the NCAA deems them guilty for cheating? And then not only that, Tony Petitti was going to let the NCAA actually was going to let the teams on their schedule not play because of the danger of how they were cheating. And you think they're going to let them keep them banners? I'm sorry, I know I'm going off here, but I'm just trying to lay this out to y'all because this is the goofy, illogical thinking from the scum fans. And we're just stating facts and logic. That's all we're doing. So, Funk, please jump in, and I'm going to get back to that article in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's because they try to use that as like a point. They're like, oh, the NCAA can't vacate a national championship. Oh, they can't take away Big Ten titles. Yeah, well, no crap. Like, but you really think that they're gonna vacate wins the same season, and then the Big Ten is gonna still be like, no, they're still our champion. No, they're gonna obviously vacate the Big Ten championship as well. But that just takes a little bit of critical thinking. Man, I literally forgot what I was gonna say. What did you first bring up when you first started that rant, B. Moses?
I think
gosh,
I was.
dang it.
I mean, I know that was a long rant. I'm sorry, but
No, you're good.
It was necessary.
No,
I was talking about
great.
Tennessee. I was talking about
Right.
Tennessee, and the difference between Tennessee and
cooperation. Yes,
cooperation. Okay.
There's one other thing that I want to point. Two things. One, do you remember when they made that public comments or that public statement on the definitions of like what it means to cooperate and what cooperating will help with? Remember they made those like it was kind of out of nowhere comments on cooperation.
Yes.
Like don't tell me that wasn't intentional. We all know that wasn't intentional. And that's going to be brought up in the case. I would bet anything on it. And then you talk about the cheeseburger scandal, and they talk about how Harbaugh had a culture of pretty much breaking the rules, culture of cheating,
of noncompliance.
Of noncompliance and cheating. So, what do you think they're going to bring up on this? This punishment?
Right.
it's going to bring up all that. And Steely brought up wondering about the LLC with what's his name? The midget
Blake Corum.
Blake Corum. Yeah, I mean, that would be the knockout punch. I have no idea if that's going to be in the final punishment because again, the NCAA doesn't leak anything, so only we've been able to hear is coming from the whatever Michigan wants to leak and what they want to talk about. So I just don't. I just would have trouble believing that we would have any reality. Do I really think it's going to be on there? Probably not. But do I really know? No. And do I think that whatever they do is going to be right? Yes. Because again, I don't really understand the LLC stuff, and I'm not fully sure on if it like if it's real or not really. Like I'm not fully educated on that stuff. Like, for all I know, it's like kind of fake or whatever. I don't really know. I don't know the laws behind it. What I do know though is if NCAA for sure looked into it. So if it's on there and has any legitimacy to it, then it's going to be on there, and that's going to vacate the wins just right in there. That's an eligible player. That's right there. They've done that a million times before. They'll do it a million times again. And also, people always claim, well, there's no there's no past president of teams vacating wins for non-eligible players. Well, yeah, there's no past evidence of teams full-blown cheating at this rate, at this scandal.
Yeah.
There isn't. So obviously there's no like prior thing to look back on and compare it to, because there's nothing to compare it to. There's nothing at all to compare it to. The closest thing you can compare it to is a coach on his bye week showing up with his family on a team sideline that they're playing technically later on the year, but he was just visiting family, and he left at halftime after being reported that it was breaking the rules, and he self-reported immediately to the university, and he still got hit with a 1 year or a 1 game suspension. So, and that was clearly an accident, and that was reported. So what are they going to do? And also, you got to remember, so they're claiming, oh, it's not against the rules to send your family to the games and record. That's already proven wrong. That was already Pete Thamel already said it. He didn't write it in his article, actually, believe it or not, but he said it on his podcast. I think I posted a clip somewhere, but he claimed that the NCAA has deemed his family members as
an extension of Michigan.
Yeah, or something. It was something working on the behalf of Michigan, which counts it as advanced scouting, which makes total sense, by the way, and that's logical. So they're going to get them for 30, 40 games, 8 Ohio State games, and they're done. I mean, it's going to be bad. I mean, there's no defending this. It's I don't get how you can really look at this and there's already a taint in the national title, by the way. Like, I want to bring that up too.
Yeah.
It's like the NCAA could literally disband tomorrow, and the majority of the college football fan bases still think that Michigan cheated and that they cheat, or that they're not still think they know Michigan cheated, and they think that they know that that national title has a big asterisk on it. So, and again, the NCAA is not disbanding tomorrow. That's purely hypothetical. But I'm just saying that really, you guys know that too. But I mean, that's very popular, and it's not just Ohio State fans. It's not just Michigan State fans. It's Georgia fans. It's Bama
Tennessee
fans. It's Notre Dame fans.
It's
Tennessee. It's literally everybody else that has actually done research in this case. This is separated between people who have done research into it and people who haven't. That's literally you could tell someone's opinion based off literally how much research they've done into it. People because again, half the stuff they say is like wrong a lot of the time when you're arguing with a scum fan or a scum media member. Half the stuff they're saying is totally wrong. It's it's straight up wrong and uninformed, and it's been already proven wrong, and they still claim the opposite. Like the whole thing, it's the postseason ban wouldn't even include that doesn't even include the playoffs. Remember that they said that for months? Yes. Like, then why would you be scared for a postseason ban?
Exactly.
Then why would you not want it? Why wouldn't Michigan accept that? Why the heck do they care about a postseason ban if it doesn't include the playoffs? Do they really care about a bowl game? Like, are you serious? I would take I would take a postseason ban for every single thing that Ohio State did if it didn't include the playoffs. I don't care to watch a non-playoff game.
Right.
I don't care.
Exactly.
No, seriously, take a if you really think that, then yeah. So it's clearly just separated. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, nah, like, bro, it's just it's more stuff is coming to my mind. So I got to get to this article, but I really want to real quickly say something. Josh Pate and Joe Klatt, they are as scum sympathizey as you can get. Yes, I made up a word, sympathizey. Yes, I haven't heard Klatt's new take yet. But Pate, we already discussed him. But what Pate is doing, he's already helping the scum fans cope. He's already trotting out a narrative of vacated wins don't matter. And listen, I was disappointed to listen to AJ Hawk on the Bobby Carpenter show talk about this. I love AJ Hawk. He's great. Hey, love him, Buckeye, whatever. However, this take of that he said, basically, it doesn't matter. We saw the games. What does that really do? Maybe for the average, just, school, that may be a decent argument, but not for scum. They worship their wins. They worship their wins against the Ann Arbor Dentistry School back in 1837 or 1897. They worship their YMCA domination back in those days. All those games that helped them to get the all-time wins, beating up on weak teams when they were one of the first schools ever established. Yeah, they love that. So specifically for scum, you take their wins away. That's the biggest thing. Take everything else but our wins in that title. So when you're dealing with somebody who's obviously committed a crazy infraction, the worst on-field cheating scandal we've ever experienced. No one's ever done this. Unprecedented is what they used in the wording when it first came out. We've talked about this. Not only that, they've been defiant. They've been uncooperative. They've deleted text messages. The Parchers telling kids not to talk to the NCAA. They've obstructed the investigation, and on and on and on. Repeat offenders, bet, all of that. On top of the worst scandal, on-field cheating scandal in college football history. And so, if anything, to me, vacated wins is a no-brainer. That's like that's not even a question. Like, what are we even talking about here? So there's that. But I wanted to point this out. Let me pull up this article. I'm about to share my screen. And this is what I was going to say, but what Michigan fans, what they're missing, because they keep saying, show me a case where they vacated wins, excuse me, when there were no ineligible players. First of all, Penn State, that's one case. Penn State got wins vacated. Yes, they had to pull back on some of the wins because of the they did kind of go crazy, but that was a terrible story. And the NCAA was just probably like, we got to crack these fools. This is crazy with, Jerry Sandusky. But they still vacated, and there was no ineligible players. So there's that. But also, let me share my screen real quick. And I'm going to show you first the article. So here's the article, so you can see it. This is the article right here, so you can see the source. Then I'm going to go back to show you a condensed version so you can see right at the heart of what we're getting at here. Give me a second. So let me share my screen again. All right. So this is like the hold on. I shared the wrong screen. Give me a second. I'm going to show you the screenshots from the article that highlight what I'm trying to get at about vacated wins and what their criteria is for the vacated wins. And it's not just ineligible players. So give me just a moment. All right, here we go. Boom. So this is a post I made on BuckeyeScoop.com, best forum out there. Make sure you check it out. So can y'all see this funky? I know it's small, but do you see that on the screen with the bullet points?
Yeah, it's pretty small though.
Okay, so I'll read it. Okay. basically the first paragraph, it says a vacation of records penalty is a way that we can address the penalties directly to those involved with the violations. Stacey Osborne, an NCAA spokeswoman, wrote in an email to Insight Higher Ed, it is often utilized in conjunction with other penalties. While the Committee on Infractions has discretion to apply the vacation penalty under any circumstances it believes to be appropriate based on specifics of the case, the likelihood of its application significantly increases when particular aggravating factors are present in a case. These include, drum roll, academic fraud. That's not the case here. Serious intentional violations, direct involvement of a coach or high-ranking school administrator, large number of violations, ding, 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 competition while academically ineligible, okay, not that one, ineligible competition in the case which there is finding a failure to monitor or lack of control. Basically, listen, you saw several points there that point to what Scum has done. The systemic nature of what they're doing clearly falls in line with what they can vacate. Like, just because there's not an abundance of cases where they vacated when they didn't have ineligible players doesn't mean they don't have the power. They've already had it written into their rule book and criteria, just in case some team comes up with a new way to cheat. They could still reach down and pop them as they deem appropriate. Like, do you see that? So, and there's one more screen I want to show y'all real quick as we talk about what Scum fans are missing. Hold on. Just some more clear verbiage for you. Give me a second. All right. Let's go back. All right. Dang it, it keeps sharing the wrong screen. Anyway, listen, I'll pull it up in a second. Y'all got the point. I was just going to just show you even more of a highlight of how it just cracks Scum's soul when it comes to this argument that you have to have ineligible players to vacate. No, you don't. You don't. And so, again, as we've been saying in the chat, and as Funky already said, yes, a part of the reason why we don't see that much is because we haven't seen a cheating scandal this bad. No one's ever done this. So I'm just telling y'all, this is your last chance. We're trying to prepare you for what's coming, okay? Because we don't want y'all jumping out of windows and doing stuff to yourself, you know, because you just going crazy because you didn't expect this. Prepare yourselves. I'm concerned about, okay? So prepare yourself now, all right? So that way, when it comes, you won't just react to the point where you just go crazy, because it's coming. If you think it's only going to be a couple of games for Sherrod Moore, fines and show causes for guys who have left, and you think that's all it's going to happen, you're going to be in a world of trouble. So I have compassion for you, Scum fans. I don't like you. I can't stand your guts when it comes to your team, but I care about you. So please stop listening to Isaiah Ho and Scamweb, and Steve Diace and people like that. Please stop. All right. Rant over for now.
And one, actually, I listened to a Steve Diace video, or whatever the heck his name is. Not the one that went viral, not the one where he crashed out on this show. It was like one of his personal things. And he talked about his personal relationship with Michigan. And that kind of made me really realize, because he talked about how, like, Michigan football is like the third most important thing in his life. And I was like, well, then no wonder, like, why this is so, like, why they're denying this so much. It's because if they realize that their happiness in their whatever is going into the gutter, and that everything that they had successful, all those natty, all those memories are now tainted because they're vacated, or because they get a postseason ban, or Sean Moore gets suspended or are fired pretty much, and all the guys enter the portal. So no wonder why, like, they refuse to tell the truth during this whole entire scandal, and they believe every word Connor Stallion says. It's because it's their life, B. Moses. It's their, it's literally their, like, they, I mean, trust me, it's a big part of me and your lives too, so I'm not hating on it for that fact. It's just, you don't realize how delusional you can be until you're pinned up against the wall like that.
Yeah.
And you're in that situation. I mean, imagine how mentally draining it must be for a Michigan fan during this whole scandal. It's just getting worse. It's gotten worse the whole entire time. It feels like every month it's just worse and worse and worse. For us, it's been the same. We've been saying the same stuff for years now because again, we've been holding our ground and we know exactly what's going to happen because we just have brains and we're able to read and we did intense research into this whole process and into a bunch of stuff. But I mean, I'd be lying if I'd be lying to be really thinking that if could tell you how I would react if I was in their boots. I don't really know because it's an impossible situation to put yourself in. But it would make sense why they're all being delusional because they have no other option. It's their livelihood. It's where they make their money. It's where they find their happiness. It's why they are on social media. It's how they pass their free time. It's why they follow recruiting. They follow recruiting for 12 months a year. So it's why it keeps them entertained. It's their entertainment. It's their when they're whatever sad. That's what they go to. So
yeah,
it's for them like we could sit here and be like, how are they not picking up on it? But when you really put it like that, you gotta remember you not to be dark humor, but when you said like so they don't be jumping out of their car windows or windows, and that kind of reminded me of that. It's like I mean that's kind of to an extent. That's that's a serious concern probably for a lot of fans if the hammer comes down, if what we predict comes down. I mean, like because you realize like that's how attached they are to Michigan football, and that's how much of a cult they're in. Like they're never gonna admit they're wrong, and even when the punishment comes down, they're probably still gonna be like, no, it doesn't matter. You can't take away our memories or whatever. Right. So, but you gotta but then you realize you're talking to people like that, and then Connor Stallions, who's a psychopath, and then people who believe in Connor Stallions, like Dan Wetzel. Then you realize you're just not very smart. And then Connor Stallions, remember like that clip of him lying to the NCAA on that meeting, being like, "Were you at the Michigan's or the Michigan State Central Michigan game?" I don't know. Sure. So it's a whole thing, and it's going to be glorious because they're all backtracking now. Like you don't see Isaiah Hole going out there and saying that there's going to be no wins vacated or postseason bans. You don't see him coming on saying that. You see Chris Bayless saying that because he has to answer these message boards 24/7. I couldn't even imagine that. Imagine having to do that 24/7. And cause if you go on their boards, I only know this because people sending me screenshots all the freaking time. He's to constantly answer questions about the scandal for the past 2 years. And that would literally kill me inside if I was him, bro.
You talking about Bayless or Hole?
Bayless. Hole or he doesn't have to I think he just has a YouTube. So I'm sure he gets annoyed of it too, but he has a lot less backing. Bayless actually makes his whole entire living off of it, and True. He's known as one of the biggest Michigan insiders, and he's taking kind of the hardest stance. Isaiah Hole literally defended a child predator.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
So he'll be fine. Chris Bayless though, I mean he'll be fine too if we're being real. No matter what happens, they can just claim overreach and stuff. But he's actually put his neck out there a little bit and claiming nothing's gonna happen. And I'm sure, and again, if he's wrong, he's just going to claim, well, my Michigan sources told me this, so what do you guys expect me to say?
Yep.
So, yeah, but, yeah. Go Cavs today, B. Moses. We got to win. Must win.
Yes, and if they do win, and I expect them to, it'll be like nothing ever happened. 2-2, go right back to Cleveland, and then control the series and move on, and that will be – I don't care. Just do it. Yes, you blew the first 2 games. I know 3 injuries. I know that you still should have won those first 2 games, but it doesn't matter. Win tonight, and it's like nothing happened. To all my Cavs fans out there, shout out. Real quick, and I know we're going to be wrapping soon, but Spiro, shout out to Justin Spiro, who Scum fans hate. They hate that he rocks with us so heavy. And it's not even him just rocking with us heavy. He just spits facts, man. He just posts facts like this. He got so much heat for this. He tweeted, This is what Michigan was before their admitted 3-year cheating scandal. And it's a graphic of Harbaugh. Excuse me. And it says, since 2015 season, record versus Ohio State 0-5, record versus Sparty 3-3, record versus ranked teams 11-16, record versus top 10 teams 2-12, Big Ten championships 0. So, yeah, listen, we have not forgotten how poverty and downtrodden and just destitute and busted and disgusted scum was before they started cheating. Like they just getting pummeled. I mean, like clubbing a baby seal. And Harbaugh said, we're going to do whatever we got to do. We're going to beat Ohio State or die trying. That was his way of saying we're going to cheat. And that's what they did. And so to your point, Funky, they got this turned around by cheating. And now they're so delusional and so connected. Because listen, we're all fans. We love our Buckeyes. If Ohio State is high up on your list of things that make you happy, that's fine. But even if that's the case, I would encourage any adult to have some balance and priorities, because family is more important. There's, if you're a faith person, God is more important. There's still levels. And so regardless of how much of you are a fan or not, like, just keep the balance mentally. All right. First and foremost. But to your point, Funk, they went from being the laughingstock of college football to, in these 3 years, cheating and turning it around to the point where they actually got a natty. That's fraudulent, of course. But now to get that stripped away is just unthinkable. I mean, they're intoxicated with this idea that they did nothing wrong. And so, and I put up on the screen, this is what I was trying to pull up, y'all, right here, where my shout out to my homie Mike Patterson, who found this article for me and did the highlights. So as you can see this, as of 2018, 20 college programs have had a national title vacated. So there's that. Yes, I know the CFP is different, but the BCS was different than the NCAA as well. So keep that in mind. To remedy this, the NCAA's Committee on Infractions adopted the practice of vacating wins, etc. The NCAA has broad authority to apply this punishment, but is more likely, see the lines, thank you, Mike P., for the extra crispy lines, but is more likely to do in cases of major systemic fraud in a program or where academic, okay, so major systemic. So again, for those who think, who are holding on to they won't vacate little teddy bear, I'm telling you, hold on to your butts, because there's a lot of evidence, as I'm showing, that shows you that this is not some, rock solid argument that you think it is. It's not. So anything you got on that, Funk?
Sorry, I was muted. I did not realize it. There's tons of precedent for, like, I just don't think that NCAA's scared of doing anything when it comes to this, B. Moses. Yeah. They're only scared to do stuff when it comes to paying players and legal rights in that, because the Supreme Court deemed it ineligible. The Supreme Court didn't. That's what people don't realize. They think the NCAA lost all its power. That's not. Okay. They lost a lot of its power because the Supreme Court took away a lot of its power. They still have the power that it has, though, the power that wasn't taken away from the Supreme Court. And that includes the power to make sure that the competition is fair and the drug test the players and do that stuff. So that the only thing to do is make sure the competition's fair. And they'd use words like compromise the integrity of competition already. That's publicly used from the Big Ten, from evidence given them by the NCAA. So they're donezo. It's donezo. And I'm just excited for it. And it's funny because every single day we're being proven more right. And it's just great. It's hysterical. And they're going to claim overreach. And I bet you, I have a feeling they're not even going to appeal for the reasons I already gave. So, because appeal never works one. But I have a feeling they're not even going to appeal. I just have I just have a feeling, because they need to get it over with. They have to.
Yeah, we'll see. But they're dumb. They've been consistently dumb throughout this whole process. So who knows? Yeah. With that said, we're going to hop off because Kirk and Nevada, they want to get on and get going before the Cavs game. So we're going to hop off. Listen, we love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Great show. I'm hoping, everything was received well as far as educational purposes. We're trying our best to educate and just provide facts, truth, logic to our fan base or whoever has an ear to hear. All right. But great show. Appreciate y'all. And get ready for Kirk and Nevada. They about to hop on very, very soon. All right. We'll see y'all next Sunday. Peace.
Peace.